Hey, good morning. Yeah, it's still morning. Good morning. How's it going? It is Saturday, August the 15th. It's about 10:55. Getting started actually a whole hour and like basically 20 plus minutes late. Just trying to get started around 9:30, but excuse me. Yeah, apparently I was a little more tired than what I actually thought. So um, yeah, just getting a little bit of a later start today. So I guess the best place for us to start out for this past week is yeah, we could start with the P&L. So 1665.98. As you can see, I just went back into another Top Step account, another combine, and yeah, I went back into another combine. It started last week. Excuse me. This past Globex Sunday, we took that one bomb, and then essentially, I don't want to say it like we turn right back around and we revenge traded to make it back, but we'll just say that you know saw the mistakes, saw the error, and then we kind of just tweaked it, and then essentially for the rest of the week, um, we ended up pretty good, and you could see basically the trade metrics back here. Initially, we had that Friday win, and then I will say shit the bed pretty much. Um, Globex Sunday last week, and then we were like in it, we were in there for the rest of this week. So that's that. That's the easy, the good part, the whatever you want to call it, out of the way, and into some price action here. It's not gonna. This probably won't be too long. It shouldn't. It doesn't necessarily have to be too long. But I've just started to dial in some of the things that I look at and look for, and marking off different types of levels. But the long and the short of what I look at is now I can say is market maker models. I'm looking for turns in the market. I'm also looking for liquidity points. Still looking at a higher time frame bias, but at least at this point, just kind of starting out looking at what Friday delivered, what Friday showed us. Um, my draw on liquidity going into this week is going to be this high at Friday. This 30,000 to 80.50 is going to be my high. I'd essentially watch price through Friday. This while this is framed out, I did not, and I'll just go ahead and I'll say this right now. I did not catch this per se. I paper traded this. I was home early. I actually ended up with a day off, which was pretty good. But even with that, seeing this, I had locked myself out of this account for anybody that was on the Journal Live Thursday night, which would have been Friday Globex. I essentially locked myself out for all day yesterday. Just didn't want and I don't feel bad about having done that, even though I was back home. Watch this, frame this. Like I said, I took it in a paper trade with plus 500, and then just kind of watch price for the remainder of the day up until about noon, a little afternoon, and then I kind of closed my charts and went about the rest of my day. But at the point in time which I was looking in here, um, my presumption, just based on structure and how price had been delivering, is this essentially at 11:51 was going to be like a stop run or a smart money reversal. I was looking to see which one of these highs. I kind of deferred to this one as well, and then I just kind of established a long short tool and saying, if this respects right, if we don't get another close below, I wasn't sure, but it tapped nicely there. Excuse me, it came back, it revisited again here. I dipped a little bit further into this fair value, okay, and the expansion away. So at this point, it is not to say that this is going to be a straight run up, a straight run bullish. We do have this week the most significant economic news this week is going to be ADP on Tuesday. So we have ADP Tuesday, and obviously, as usual, we'll have unemployment claims on Thursday. So I only mention that to simply say this likely is not going to be just like a mad dash to the top. However, stranger things have happened a couple of days ago. I think that was Wednesday. Was it Wednesday night? Globex Asia going into pre-London, like the market just ripped like 200-300 points long. So yeah, anything would be possible. But again, my bias is going to be bullish just for the sake of my drawn liquidity based on a market maker model and price. But let's clear all of this out, and then we can go up and we'll look at the weekly real quick. You just have to mind the the executions that are on the chart. I don't have to do that, but I do it for transparency. I would say for the most part, I would consider it a transparency thing, because you'll always get the yahoos that are going to say, "Oh, you didn't take that, you framed it, you did," but whatever. So while it's not necessarily a necessity to prove, but in this space, there's just so many there's so many actors of different persuasions that it's just a little bit more of a reassurance to somebody that I could be doing anything else with my Saturday morning. I'm not, extorting or trying to extort money out of anybody that watches these videos or does any of that kind of stuff. Like, you can watch it, you can take what you can get from it. If you don't get anything from it, you can, obviously you already know, you can go somewhere else. So it's never to lure anybody in. Don't have any mentorships. Don't have any signal services. Don't have any courses. Don't sell shit. It's my training journey. It's how I see things. It's, whether it plays out, that's fine. If it doesn't play out, that's fine. If it plays out, that's fine. Like, it is what it is. So, that was my ad edit in the video here. So, if we go back to Monday, the 27th, looking at from a weekly standpoint, this reached back into an area of fair value. And because we're looking at, weekly candles, you can use an idea and a concept of weekly ranges and weekly expansion and contraction. So the 27th closed back inside the previous week of the 20th. Here, the week of the 3rd of August, completed that close. There's a small volume imbalance in here. We pushed long. And then subsequently, this week that is just concluded, we opened inside the previous week's candle, right? We had our manipulation down or our manipulation short, and we are now looking to put in higher price. So based upon my 1 minute lower time frame supposition of what I would be looking for in price and price delivery for this upcoming week, it does not change the fact of the scenario. We can go from the weekly. Let's just go down to the daily real quick. It's not going to change in any way what my idea, what my thought process is for the week coming up. I think I can actually, let's see if it'll, yeah, it's a bit much. It's a bit much on there. Let me see how I can do this so you can see it. So there is between Wednesday, this is Wednesday, the 12th of August. This is obviously Thursday, the 13th, and this is Friday, which was yesterday. There is an area of fair value that is sitting in here. Okay, so it is not beyond the scope of reason that potentially, upon Globex open tomorrow, if there's a gap, if there's a reach or whatever it is, there is a possibility that we reach back into this level of internal range liquidity. Because if there's just a very simple and a very basic premise of liquidity that you could always kind of lean into, or I don't want to say most should learn, because everybody learns different things. And if the information gets sucked into a lot of different language and people that use different terms for different things, you'll miss like core fundamental information. So fundamentals of the market, as it pertains to liquidity, fundamentals as it pertains to liquidity, and when you're looking potentially for a draw on liquidity, an overall draw, an immediate draw, you can usually lean in on the fact that you're going to seek an internal or an external liquidity point that becomes like a point of interest, if you will. So in this particular case, if we're looking at a daily candle and daily candle closure, you can see that we took on Friday, right, based on the week and the day itself, Thursday had already established a high, right? So Friday opens and we take external range liquidity above Thursday's high, and we've closed back inside. So now, again, and I don't like to say logically, so I'll say technically speaking, because we have fair value or an inefficiency that is resting below Friday's close, and Friday we took external range liquidity, it is not beyond the scope of technical reasoning that we cannot see a close back inside to take this internal before a conclusion or a resumption, if you will, for higher price. Because my supposition is that we're looking for higher price. I would look for maybe the internal first, as I said. That may be tomorrow. That may be going into Monday. Who knows? We might, just get some barcoding or something in here. A consolidation of price until the news on Tuesday. And then we may see, it just, obviously it all depends. I don't know which way, but my thought process initially for tomorrow would be maybe a short-term short, maybe a run out of a high and then conclusion, but who knows? Who knows? But yeah, so that is my idea as it pertains to price. The outlook, like I said, for next week is bullish until my target here is hit. Just go to a 5. So yeah, I know in relationship to this model, that area of fair value, is well below this model. So if I look into price, and I know this is a 5-minute, very fractalized in terms of price delivery, there's only one area in all of this price back here. If we go in, if I follow this all the way back to this presumed reversal or this presumed stop run, there literally is only one area, one of fair value, and it is extremely small, and it is right here. It's right here. It's the 320, 325, and 3:30 p.m. session candles. And another aspect of how I look at price, it's not for me, I look at it probably a little bit more of a confluence per se, but there are times where I will come and I will look at the last hour, the last regular hour of trading. I'll look at the 3 to 4 o'clock time. And sometimes I just like to see whether or not, that hour, if price is self-contained within that hour or if it expands beyond. It's just something that I do. There's no, rhyme or reason. And I guess you could say that to some extent, there's been some level of back test and data collection with this just to kind of, understand what's going on. So having said that, I just told you that area of fair value is literally sitting. I'm just highlighting this so you could just see that. It's literally right here. And like I said, it's not extremely large or big or anything like that. But as it pertains to the previous price back here, or this previous high, now I'm not going to say that, this literally just reflects an uptrend, but this will be a retracement that created, potentially this high and then this one subsequently. You have a smaller pullback here, but you don't have a pullback into this range, this intermediary range or structural range that continued to push price higher. So by that, you've got a lot of substructure. You could consider this a substructure. I would consider this probably a little bit more of a structural low. One, because it's established the continuation longer. That's one. Two, because it's sitting in an area of fair value, right? Which is going to mean that at some point when there is a break of structure or change in the state, this is going to be run through with some level of conviction or expansion, displacement through it, low. So I say all of that just to simply say, if we consider this like a subsection of bullish structure, it wouldn't be uncommon to see price, if for that short that I'm referring to, if it's short term before another push long, we come and we redress this. And this 3 to 4 for me, just for me, would kind of intimate that it's possible that we could come all the way back in and clear this out and retain this high, if not just for the sake of maybe completing the model, if this is indeed the model that is to be established, right? If we are to actually run this high before anything else. So it's just how I'm thinking of price. It doesn't make it an absolute, doesn't make it the right way or anything like that. It's just how I see it. So that is that's all I've got today. Nothing really long or crazy, nothing like that. No extra music, just me talking, so I know that's weird. But yeah, I hope you guys are having a good Sunday. Feel free to leave a comment below. Let me know what you think price is doing this week if you trade NQ. Give me your thoughts on what you think about news and anything else financial. And yeah, I'll definitely respond to all comments. I appreciate you guys. I'll try to start doing maybe a little bit more live execution. My schedule is a little sporadic just in times of not being able to maybe show up every day, with the exception, I will say, with the exception of the Globex periods. That would be the only time. Not next week, this week coming up, but the following week, we may be able to get in some day streams because this this dual workspace that I occupy, the secondary personnel will not be here during the day. So if I happen to wrap up my day job a little bit quicker, I will definitely be back. So I would tell you, trying to think of what that day is or what the day would be. 17. So probably Wednesday. I think that's Wednesday the 26th. So we'll probably try to shoot for, and then I'll dial in the time. I'll put it in the community tab. So Wednesday the 26th will probably be the first day. Now what time that is, like I said, I'm not going to know because my schedule, adjusts or change from day to day. Sometimes it'll be earlier, sometimes it may be later. But nonetheless, look for some day streams, PM session, late New York open session from Wednesday, August the 26th through that Friday, the 28th. And yeah, I think that'll be something different. We'll turn the webcam on and yeah, we'll go from there. But as usual, I'll still be running the private journal sessions, which are recorded and they go into like our archive for journaling and data collection. So if you're a part of that, I appreciate you guys for hanging out. And I know a lot of times those sessions, there's a lot of information that goes into those. The reason that I don't do like live journal sessions is because, just being honest, they can be quite boring to the person that might be tuning into a live that is looking for price action. You're looking for somebody to analyze the chart, draw out whatever, fib or whatever their tool is, and be taking trades. And that a lot of times, sometimes, is not what happens in our journal sessions. It's more of a period of time where we just kind of analyze the price. We look at price. We talk through. I don't want to say different scenarios, but we talk through different signatures of price, of price action, a time and price aspect. It kind of covers some of the industry, or some of the commonalities of what people trade. So some people trade support and resistance. Some people are exclusively like ICT comments, or excuse me, ICT concepts. Other people do candle range theory. I once was a candle range theorist. To some degree, I still am, because there's a lot of technical grounding behind that. So, but yeah, we just kind of go through different things. People see different things, and like I said, for the non-nerd trader, the non-nerd speculator, it's boring as shit. So I didn't necessarily want to bring that to a YouTube live stream, even though it probably would work for the person out there that's just trying to, get an understanding and not feel like you have to chase. But like I said, it's not overly entertaining for people just to tune in, because it's going to look like, okay, the chart hasn't moved, right? The chart hasn't moved. This guy's not taking any trades. They're just talking. This shit is boring as fuck, and you go somewhere else. So that's why we we reserve those sessions in a little bit of a different format. But that is that. All right, guys. So I appreciate you for hanging out again. Like the video if you got something out of it. Again, comment. Let me know what your thoughts, opinions, your process, your technical processes for NQ for this upcoming week. If you're looking at any other markets as well, feel free to drop those in, and maybe next weekend, or as we kind of try to get into some regularity of doing recaps and outlooks every week. Maybe I'll pull up another chart. We could look into that, and I'll be happy to go over those with you. All right, guys. Have a safe and a happy Saturday. Enjoy yourself, and I'll see you all next time.
Cause I don't give a fuck what you say. Yeah, I'ma do shit my way. So you can go kick rocks, I'ma stack bricks up, build what I want to make. Yo,